Hey all, it's Urs one last time with the Franks. I don't know how many of you watched. Actually, I know exactly how many of you watched, given the views, but I'm going to do one more quick epilogue here just to look at the results and the demographics and the numbers and the graphs, just to see how we played this game relative to the Timurids. I think it may be instructive to see how different ideologies and how different social policies play off. So we did win domination as we explored last episode. At the end of the game, again, this is not uncommon for domination victories. We are number one in population, crop yield, manufactured goods, GNP, land, soldiers, approval, and literacy. This is not unexpected. Literacy might be a little different depending on your game, but all these others, when you pretty much control the world, you are going to be the biggest, unsurprisingly. So, ranking, we are now once again Caesar because domination, we just get a lot of score for taking all the wonders in the world. And we can go to the replay here and let's go to the graphs like before and look at how we were going, really. We were more or less up on top of the score the whole way, and then we kind of took off after we kept taking cities. Every one of these bumps is pretty much a new city. But let's look at, I guess, culture per turn and see what happened, because we had a huge amount of tourism pressure from people. And yeah, look at this. Look at these numbers. I mean, we were okay. We're the dark blue here, if you can see that. And we were more or less all right, but look at this. And these are the three people that made our lives difficult. Morocco, Siam, and Babylon had just so much culture from the get-go. Siam especially, look at that. I don't know what they did, but this is crazy. And they just kept it up. Siam, like, so much culture per turn. It's unbelievable. 792 at one point. Man, that's just crazy. Look at that. And this is why we had so much ideology pressure. I rarely see this many strong culture civs in one game, but this was exceptional. And that's why we were in minus 57 public opinion. That's just, scary. Let's see. What else is useful? Military might, we were more or less on par, and then we just kind of took off. Babylon was the next strongest. That's why they had so much freaking artillery. That makes sense. Number of known techs. This is always good. And, science wasn't that far off, except when we started pulling ahead here with all the bulbing. And usually that's when it happens. Right there, we got into the information era and then took off with GDRs and death machines. But for most of the game, we were on tech parity, so the early conquests weren't exactly easy. They did have some decent stuff to fight us with. And let's see, science return is always also very good. Yeah, here we see we were level, and then as soon as we got our public schools up, I think, and this is that one dip when we got the factory. So once we had the universities on toward public schools, dip for the factory, and then our science return kept growing and growing and growing. This kind of gave us the strength to run endgame. We did get a lot of bulbing here. That's why we have this massive jump of science per turn at the end. If we had order, if we had adopted order and we took the workers' faculties, 50% science from factories and stuff, we would likely see this kind of move like that and then with the bulbing, because that does give a more steady increase in science over time. But we were ahead on science there again, and that's, like I said, higher difficulties, Immortal, and especially Deity, science is king. You really need to make sure you get your science buildings up. And it's, it's a small investment that pays off later, so yeah, definitely get those up, and then you can go crazy on anything else you want to do, really. So yeah, unhappiness, I mean, we had a lot. I don't even want to look at that. That's just depressing. But one more thing we should look at while we're analyzing here. Let's look at the map and do the replay. Kind of see what happened out here. I'm always interested to see how this worked out. So we were actually one of the quicker expanders, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We got China and Mongolia, and there we go. We are our second city. Yes, Indonesia really expanded quick, I have to say. They had a lot of cities early, so they were very strong, but that slowed their science down. Every city does increase your science cost by 5%, and early on that does become annoying. But this is the part where you're just declaring war and keeping war with Indonesia to get our paladins. Mongols do what Mongols do and take city-states, and then we're going to take Venice. We're going to take, what was that one? Bogota? Or, man, I don't even remember. Maybe that was Brussels that we took for the salt. We're going to take these guys soon, as soon as they get Wellington. And yeah, this makes sense, though. Look at this massive culture border expansion. These guys were pumping out so much culture at the time. It's just ludicrous. And, the whole game we were struggling with happiness thanks to that negative ideology pressure, but we overcame. Oh, did we overcome. And then this is the part. As soon as you see the city go down, this is the time when the Franks started going on their massive rampage. Global rampage. I love these little crap cities that kept coming up on the coast. There we go. And then we'll see Morocco slowly fall as we push through to Babylon. Oh, man, this is glorious. This is a glorious conquest. You'll see how quickly this goes in game terms. This is a little changing of hands over a bot. Yeah, man, this is just turn after turn. We'll see one city after another fall to the Franks, and this was cleanup at that point. Bam. All right. So thank you for joining me. This is a little quick epilogue. Like I said, always find these instructive. They're always useful, and always kind of see where we were strong, where we were weak, and how we can improve. I think we played this pretty well. The happiness was kind of bad. We did try to get tourism up relatively quickly, but it wasn't enough. We had 3 really big culture players this game, and that was really what bit us. And in the end, we had to give up autocracy to keep our conquest moving. And like you saw, there was 2 turns of anarchy. We lost 2 social policies, which were basically our 2 early adopter tenets. But switching ideologies isn't the worst thing. So if you do find yourself in a massive happiness hole, it is advisable to do so if you need to. I mean, if I had done it earlier, it would have been easier to play this game, sure. But I felt like being obstinate and kind of, hardcore autocracy all the way. So thanks again for tuning in. Our next LP will be coming up real soon, if it's not up already by this time. And yeah, enjoy that one. Thank you for your viewership. Appreciate it. I've been Urs. Thanks again. I will see you next time.